really Ravine Stadium Talk. In today's video, we're going to be talking about MLB ballparks, the capacities of said MLB ballparks. Now, this is a topic that I want to throw out there today, and it's just an opinion of mine, and I want to hear your feedback as to what you guys think about Major League Baseball stadiums and the state that they are currently in the year 2025. It is important to note that the highest capacity stadium in all of Major League Baseball is Dodger Stadium with a capacity of supposedly 56,000 fans. Now, I have my doubts because I have never seen a game in my life at Dodger Stadium with a capacity of 56,000 fans. I think the most that I've seen at Dodger Stadium, whether I was there or on TV, is around 54,000. They can pack in 54,000. I'm not sure about 55,000, but they say it's 56,000. Obviously, it's a lot of fans, but 54,000, even the most I've seen it, that's still a lot of fans. And no, the ballpark really comes close. I mean, you have a couple others like Yankee Stadium with just below 50K and whatnot, but 55,000-ish fans, that's a lot of fans packed in a Dodger Stadium. And Dodger Stadium, we'll focus on Dodger Stadium first. I feel like I listen, I don't want to ever mess with Dodger Stadium and like the seating arrangement and all that, but what a lot of these ballparks that you see these days, and you're starting to see the trends, is more social gatherings, less seats, more social gatherings. Let's take out all the seats, let's put a standing room only area, hangout spot. That's where you're seeing, and honestly, I'm not opposed to it because when you're watching ball games on TV, you see in the upper decks, especially rows, and I mean rows and not even rows, sections of empty seats in a row, just the entire upper deck just completely empty. Maybe you have like a couple hundred fans scattered throughout the upper deck, and maybe 10K fans in the lower bowl in the outfield. And so there's really becoming eyesores with the upper decks, and I've talked about it in previous videos. Listen, especially in the outfield, like in the outfield, there should be no reason for third decks in the outfield. I get you have your first section, you want to have a second deck, that's fine, but a third deck like Citi Field, for example, or you have it at Camden Yards, to name a couple, those gotta go, and they are going. I think Camden Yards is going to take away their upper deck a little bit. Citi Field needs to be next on the renovation list. I know Yankee Stadium has a third deck up there. I'm not a big fan of third and fourth decks. They just are eyesores for me. And even in Seattle, like there's just way too many seats out in the outfield, like 100 rows up, and they're all empty pretty much 90% of the time. So those for me gotta go when it comes to the next generation of MLB stadiums, and we kind of are seeing that next future MLB stadiums. You're not seeing capacities of 41,000, 55,000, obviously not, but what you are seeing in the next MLB stadium generation is a capacity of around 35,000. Let's just call it 35K. You're not getting up to 41,000, which is the average MLB ballpark capacity. It is 41,000 fans. So for me, I do like the 35,000. It is a lot smaller than we're used to, but Marlins Park was built around 35,000 capacity, and Marlins Park is a ballpark that never gets used or never gets sold out. The upper deck is completely empty pretty much every game. I don't remember a time where I saw Marlins Park with the upper deck not closed off, which is insane because it's a brand new ballpark, a little bit over 10 years old, and that ballpark is never used in the upper deck, and it was never used in the upper deck very early on. So that's a problem for Major League Baseball with these upper decks being completely empty for most games, and you want to minimize that on TV, and so that means building smaller capacity ballparks. Are you guys in favor of that? Do you guys agree with my decision that yes, they are eyesores? We don't need 100 rows of upper decks, upper section, especially in the outfield. Let's minimize that. Let's create more social gatherings. Let's create more limited seating capacity and limit the eyesore that is hundreds of seats just empty in a row, because it does not look good on TV. And even at Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers have the most fans consecutively for like 12 years. You will still have nights where the last sections of the reserve level towards the foul poles are pretty much empty. I would say about 60-70% of the time. You know, you could say, oh, you can make that a social gathering, take out the upper sections of it at least. And you know, I'm not going to go there for Dodger Stadium, but for a lot of ballparks, they really need to do that. Chase Field comes to mind. I mean, you name it, they got to really reduce the capacity, and I would like to see that for baseball. I think it would just help baseball as far as looking on TV. I'm not saying it's like ruining baseball or nothing, but it's just something I see and I want to point out and have a conversation about. Let me know your thoughts about that down below. As always, I will see you guys in the next one.